AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. Wake up, AllBall in the morning. AllBall early AllBall. Fabian Perspect, making the connect. Fabian Perspective. Got a little Knicks Rehab going on. I should not be having a Knicks Rehab logo.
AllBall TV.
Whoa, sorry about that. I should be having my backdrop. Right? Just like that. Good morning. Grand rising, as they say. Top of the top. Good morning to everybody in the nation, around the world. I've seen some of the stats. You guys are around the world. Beautiful day in New York, a little less warmer, and we're trying some things. 66 degrees outside of New York City. It's supposed to be 79 degrees today, high. 66 degrees is the low. So we're looking up from here, guys. And that's, you can see here, 7 a.m. That's the latest here in New York City. Precipitation, throughout the day, maybe. You have more of a chance of that. Little wind, 10 miles an hour. But most important is 66 degrees. Humidity is 92. And it's going to get a little worse when it hits 80 degrees. Midday. My good people, how we doing? How we doing, guys? Hit that like button. Correct. Will, what's going on? Top of the morning, my guys. Salute. Rodolfo, AllBall TV, fire good. I love the chat. Let's get it going. Top of the top. You know, London, Japan, and I'm straight with the rock. I want to say the hottest news in basketball right now is Mr. J.J. Redick. I gotta admit it. J.J. Redick's in the mix. Reportedly, J.J. Redick is the topic at hand. He's the coach at hand. Officially hired by the Lakers. I think I'm not shocked by it. A lot of people are shocked by it. Oh, wrong screen. A lot of people are shocked by it. I'm not really, though. At this point in time in the world, the way business is going, you can't be shocked by it, because think about it. Look, it's Shams that reported this, right? The Los Angeles Lakers are zeroing in on J.J. Redick as the front runner for the franchise's next head coach, league, and industry sources say. And you heard Stephen A. Smith say that. You heard several people referring to that. J.J. Redick is the next coach. Like, it was an open secret, damn near. And we've always seen this happening in sports, and then usually it's like the worst kept secret. He's currently doing the finals, commenting on the finals. And in The Athletic, the same article that Shams was quoting, it says Redick was the first candidate to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lakers 3 weeks ago. And Borrego, he's from the Pelicans, did an in-person interview with the Lakers officials for a second time last week, and the franchise has been impressed with him during the process. That's not what stood out to me. What stands out to me in this article is multiple sources on the matter said one person who has become a respected unofficial resource for the Lakers during the process is legendary former Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski, whose deep knowledge of candidates such as JJ Redick and others provides a lens into the culture the organization wants and the characteristics of a potential staff around the next head coach. Krzyzewski's history with the Lakers goes back to 2004 when Dr. Jerry Buss made a strong yet unsuccessful offer to hire Coach K. Redick played for Krzyzewski at Duke from 2002 to 2006. So a little bit of irony there, but that was the major key factor for me in this article. Aside from the fact that Shams is, the LeBron insider. Woj is CAA. Shams is Clutch Sports. So the fact that he's a Clutch Sports guy and he's reporting something from the Lakers and Mind the Game, straight out of Mind the Game, is not surprising. Shams, the Clutch reporter, is saying JJ Redick is in the mix. He's saying Mike Krzyzewski, JJ Redick's former coach in college, has say so in the Lakers matter, and they have history as well. I don't know if I'm surprised by Mike Krzyzewski helping the Lakers along, but I think you leak things like this to try to give credibility to a JJ Redick, right? Because JJ Redick, say what you want, but it's a polarizing move right now. Everyone has every reason to go against the hiring of a JJ Redick, right? Like he's going to be thought of as just a media guy. He's only coached kids. And, the first thing I thought about with JJ Redick was it did come up with Steve Kerr when Steve Kerr was an analyst and he sounded great and they pulled him to coach the Golden State Warriors. But he was a general manager before the Phoenix Suns before that. And if I'm going to be honest, I don't think JJ Redick sounds as good as Steve Kerr at color commenting. Like during the game, I think JJ is really good. He's great, but Steve Kerr is a different level to me. He was really, really good. Jeff Van Gundy, a lot of these guys, the ESPN made a flat out mistake by firing Jeff Van Gundy, who Stan Van Gundy spoke really strongly against last week on Dan Le Batard's show. He said that the ESPN did Jeff Van Gundy dirty. Stan Van Gundy, Jeff Van Gundy's brother, said that ESPN did him dirty. And part of the reason why they fired Jeff Van Gundy was that they were saying Jeff Van Gundy there was a reasonable rumor that he might be hired by some coaching staff. So that was part of the reason why they fired him. A special guest. Are we sure that we want the camera on? Let's wipe that guest off and bring in a new guest. You know how we do, straight from the rafters. I don't know what you call him, but I know he's my brother. Yeah, y'all. It's AllBall.
Oh man, this is where we need the clapping.
Yeah, I know, right? Where is my?
Yeah, we need the sound effects, man. What's going on? Good morning, top of the morning to everybody. How you feeling today? Morning.
I'm chilling. I was just talking about JJ Redick, obviously about to be hired by the Lakers, and how Mike Krzyzewski is not connected to the whole ordeal. And for me, I felt like Shams reported it and confirmed it. So he's a LeBron guy. That's number one. JJ Redick's doing a podcast with LeBron. That's number two, and which is really number one. But to add Mike Krzyzewski in the mix feels like a cheap way to just say, hey, look, it's Mike Krzyzewski, one of the greatest coaches of all time in college. He's saying it's okay. I think it's their way of buttering up or trying to give credibility to JJ Redick when they know this is tough.
Listen, man, the Lakers right now is a big Ponzi scheme. You got Valentine and Winthorpe. JJ Redick is Winthorpe. LeBron is Valentine from Trading Places. And it's just a big scheme, man. You get your guy in, you about to get your son on the team. Listen, I'm going to be honest, man. The great Jim Buss is rolling over in his grave, man. It's no disrespect to JJ Redick, but I'm just trying to figure out. I thought, to become a head coach, you have to have some type of credentials, I guess. What's his credentials? He does a podcast with LeBron and he sounds like a genius. I mean, I listen, man, I'm against it. I know if I was a head coach or former head coach or someone that's been on a coaching staff or assistant head coach for years, how do I get passed up for JJ Redick? And this is no knock on JJ Redick. One thing I learned in life, if you're able to get certain things, like I said, I've never seen nobody deny greatness. If you want to put me in that spot, then cool. But this might be worse than Derek Fisher to the Knicks.
Wow.
I mean, once again, I know we like JJ Redick, you know, as far as on YouTube and as a basketball analyst, but how many legends called him out on his BS? From Dominique Wilkins to Paul Pierce, the list goes on and on. Where at times he don't sound like he the smartest tool in the shed. So, you know, for me, I laugh when, you know, they say certain players or people have these high IQs and they the greatest leaders. And man, listen, man, what is JJ Redick's resume to where he should be getting a head coaching job for the Los Angeles Lakers? This is not for the Washington Wizards. This is not for the Detroit Pistons. This is for, if I'm not mistaken, them in Boston have the most championships in franchise history. They tied. Why is this possible? Once again, this is only one way this is possible. LeBron Ramon James. This man, he's Thanos, man. He's like a tornado. He comes through your organization. He wipes you out and then he gets out of there. He did it in Cleveland. He tried to do it in Miami, but Pat Riley wasn't going for it. Think about LeBron James tried to fire Eric Spoelstra, who's probably top 5 and right now heading, it's not even close, best coach in probably the last, 10 years? And now you do the same thing with the Lakers. Every player he plays with doesn't get better, and then when they get away from him, they thrive and get better. How many players can we name? Ingram, Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Kyrie Irving. The list goes on and on and on. Caldwell Pope, Malik Monk. Come on, man. This guy is, you know, I'm just not a fan of it. You know, there's way too many other candidates that deserves this job before JJ Redick. And just you being my brother and very intelligent, I'm asking you, what is his credentials to even get what is it when you go for a job?
A resume?
No. Not a resume. I mean, to me, he doesn't have a resume, but before you get the job, you go on
experience.
What do you go on for the job? Like before you get the job, don't they gotta talk to you? What do they?
Or with the interviews and everything?
Right.
Well, they've been 2 rounds. They said that he was the first person to get an interview in person.
But I'm asking you, why was he the first to get an interview? What is his credentials in his resume for him to get an interview?
Well, real quick, I think that's what Paul Pierce's problem is with this, and he went even further than you did. You know, which we don't like to go talk about the kids, but he went there.
To be honest with you, I really don't even think this is really about a championship no more. This is about putting on a good show. Because if we talking about, this sound like a script to me. This really sound like a script to me. If we talking about, think about this. They hired JJ Redick, draft Bronny, or sign. I mean, does this sound like something that's like we're trying to move in a direction to win a championship, or does it sound like we're trying to put on a show? And to be honest with you, I really don't even.
So they're trying to put on a show. Before we move on, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I think he doubled down on what you said, and it's beyond that now. He's thinking what the Lakers are doing. He's a big time Lakers fan. You know, he's from LA, even though he played for Boston. But I mean, what do you agree with that? Like, this just feels like more like a show, especially since this is an empty calorie resume.
I totally 100% agree, and I never agree with Paul Pierce. I'm never going to agree with anybody from Boston. New York Knicks for life. Knicks Rehab every day, Monday through Friday, 7:30. Plug. But I totally agree, man. Like, LeBron is not playing for championships no more. This is to get his son in the league, and this is just to strut his power. LeBron always knows how to get headlight, get the
Headlines.
get the headlines. He did it the other day talking about Kyrie. Now that Kyrie is in the finals, he didn't say this all year about Kyrie up until now. If he did, I didn't hear it. And then now you come out with this news a day before the NBA finals. This man loves attention. The games he don't play, he walks into the stadium with wine. He walks into his son's combine thing for the NBA draft. This is just it's a show. And like I told you, it's a Ponzi scheme. I've said this before anybody. Jeannie Buss needs to, I don't know if she can fire herself, but she does not need to be running the Lakers. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. Like I said, this is going to look like when the Knicks, when Phil Jackson hired, what's my man, a left-handed point guard for the Lakers? I just said his name.
Derek Fisher.
Right. The guy Matt Barnes drove 300 miles to chase him in his own. Yo, how you drive 300 miles and chase somebody around your house? Like, that's not here there. But yeah, it's LeBron is just a show now, man. That's just what it is, man. It's just a show. And I think it's bad for basketball because, once again, I'm just trying to figure out why is he getting this job. If somebody can explain that to me, then I get it. But until you explain why JJ Redick is going to get the Los Angeles Lakers job, I said the same thing about Darvin Ham. And like y'all said, he been on the sidelines for years. What assistant coach and the GM and what has JJ Redick done? But sounds sometimes like an idiot on YouTube and ESPN when he talks about basketball. I don't get it. I just don't.
Engage it. Oh, we can start a poll right here. We're going to ask a question, y'all. This is the morning show. We are up early, AllBall TV. And we have a question for you guys.
Need y'all
Which
help.
one? We need y'all help. We need it, man. I just lost the page. Here we go. We're coming up with a name. I got to shout you out. What's my guy? Bazooka. He said, no, I'm sorry, Rodolfo. He said, how does AllBall the morning dribble sound for a morning show? The morning show being called what did I say? I'm sorry.
I think I'm starting to like the morning dribble.
The morning dribble. AllBall is liking the morning dribble.
And then the other one was it wake up and dribble or get up and dribble?
Wake up and dribble.
Right. So I think, let's start a poll. We need y'all help with those two, the morning dribble or wake up and dribble. Which one y'all like best? I'm starting to really like the morning dribble because it's just clean and just straight to the point. But, we need the people help. Y'all the one that we do this for. So we go with what y'all say.
So better name for
our morning show.
For our morning show. And we'll type that in here. And we said the morning dribble. Or wake up and dribble. The morning dribble, wake up and dribble. Thank you to Rodolfo for making that suggestion, by the way. Okay, the poll is in the chat. I don't know if I can pin it. End poll. Oh, it's up there, though. Everybody participate. Oh, it's 50-50. Wake up and dribble 100. It's going all over the place. It's 2 votes. Y'all do y'all thing, man. Let us know. The morning dribble or wake up and dribble. Wake up and dribble is better. Ooh.
Listen,
We'll see. We shall see on the poll.
Right. We need y'all help. We're gonna be. I mean, this is throughout the day. We need y'all help, and hopefully by the end of tonight's show, Knicks Rehab, that'll tell it all.
And just in case, before we move along to the next topic, we know we want AllBall's opinion on this one because he got to run. It is 65 degrees in New York City. 79 degrees will be the high. 65 degrees is the low. So we're going nowhere but up. 94% humidity. It's going to get a little too humid out there, especially in the afternoon when it hits 80 degrees. You know how we do in New York City. You got to carry on a little spray. Do what you got to do. Get some water. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. It's going to be a little foggy. No rain in sight. Sunny, partially cloudy, but no rain in sight, baby. 65 degrees right now. It will be 79 degrees throughout the day.
Nice.
AllBall.
Talk to me.
Let's get to the next topic at hand. This is right up your alley. Gilbert Arenas and them boys, they started arguing about who's tougher to guard, Allen Iverson or Steph Curry.
Uh-oh. This is what I'm talking about.
The problem is
that Steph Curry brand is tough over there.
I like it. I love AI, but he's
not
because you never played against him. You don't know what it was.
The blur,
right? You don't know what it was. Like he himself demanded all 5 people.
No, he doesn't.
So this is guy.
No,
he's never been
step past half court. He demands every.
No, he's never been quadruple teamed.
When he stepped past half court, everybody's guarding him.
Who?
Steph Curry. What are you talking about? You're not just gonna let Steph Curry walk past half with the ball. You're gonna have to guard him.
They do it all the time.
You switched out on.
Okay, another guy. It's 5 guys. It's 5 guys watching one guy.
No one switched on Allen Iverson.
You didn't have to.
No, we
didn't have to.
You got to switch on Steph.
We didn't. No.
What do you mean you didn't?
We didn't switch. No one was that fucking stupid.
Brandon,
because the thing about Steph is,
what are y'all talking about?
Steph wasn't fast like Allen Iverson.
Doesn't matter.
So you can switch onto him, and he's gonna try to bop you. Allen Iverson, you had to double or triple team. If he was there, we don't give a fuck who you were.
Mm-hmm.
You're over there. Cool. We're here.
We watch.
Right? If Clay was with Allen Iverson, Clay would average 30.
Easy.
Because we did not give 2 shits about Clay at that point because the dude himself was so dominant
that it didn't win to no ring.
And so, do you know what his team looked like?
All right. AllBall.
Let's go. Well, let's get started. So it was a lot more to that video. They started naming the guys that AI played against. You know, the T-Max, Kobe, Shaq, Garnett, Duncan, and Brandon Jennings kind of poo-pooed that. It was like, man, that era was nothing. My era was better. And then, he named, look at, who Curry played against. Westbrook, LeBron, KD, Harden. But this is where I'm going to agree with Gilbert Arenas, and I never agree with him. What AI was, I'm going to be honest, Steph Curry is not that. Gilbert Arenas also said, look at the team AI took to the finals, and he named the roster, right? And then he just asked, if you take Draymond Green and Klay Thompson off of the Golden State Warriors, and let's just say, even if you want to put them in the East, do they make the finals? Do they even make the playoffs? And Gilbert said what I've been saying. They don't even make the play-in. If Allen Iverson played in this era with that Golden State Warriors that Steph Curry had, do you think they win 4 championships?
Yeah.
Right.
This is not stopping them.
Right. So for me, this is the thing I don't like with Steph Curry, and it's nothing against him, but the media and people like us. Nobody gives him flack. They give everybody else flack for the superstar and the super teams. And just because they went to him, people don't say nothing about that. Curry's played on some great basketball teams, and he's caught a lot of big breaks. Curry had it kind of sweet for his career, even though he's won. I'm not taking away what he's done. But if you're asking me who's a better basketball player, Allen Iverson is a better basketball player than Steph Curry. No disrespect, like they say about Caitlin Clark. What else does he do besides shoot threes? He's not a great closer. He's yet to have a monumental or a great playoff run. Even when he got the Finals MVP, it was okay. It wasn't dominating. Listen, man. I'm just saying. We're gonna talk real, and these are the things people are scared to talk about because, like I said, Steph Curry is a great guy, man. Seems like it on and off the court, but we don't hold him to the same standards that we hold everybody else. We shit on KD, LeBron, Kawhi when they either join super teams or fail or succeed in a certain way. Let's not act like Steph Curry ain't go run and get KD. Let's not act like when Curry didn't have his help, he didn't make the play-in. Let's stop acting like that. AI was a different breed. AI played when it was physical. And AI ain't shoot three-pointers like that. AI was going to the basket, getting to the line. So I agree with what Gilbert and Rashawn McCann say. And also, this is another topic we need to discuss. Was them 2000 errors overrated? Because Brandon Jenner said that era was trash. And he said his era was way better. So it's a lot in that video. But I'm going to be honest, man. AI is a better basketball player than Steph Curry. Point blank, period. I'm not arguing with nobody about that.
I gotta disagree. I think Steph Curry plays with a higher IQ. For Gilbert Arenas to say you didn't have to you never guarded.
No. Let's break it down. Please explain what's this high basketball IQ that Steph Curry has, because I've seen him turn over the ball in pivotal moments. Yeah, he makes great passes, but it's not like he's a super great passer. So just where's this high basketball IQ you're talking about?
He just, I mean, if you're gonna go to their worst time periods or the worst moments of their career, then of course, you know, Steph Curry's turning the ball over in those crucial moments. But he also has big games. That series against the Celtics was major. They had, I don't know what Ime Udoka was thinking playing the whatever that's called, the drop coverage on Steph Curry. What Gilbert Arenas was saying was dead wrong. Once you cross half court, you don't have to guard Steph Curry. So where you going to guard him at? In the full court? What are you talking about? Then he's saying you never guarded him, so you don't understand. You never guarded Steph Curry. Like, just his points were awful. If you're going to, how did he really compare them? If Klay Thompson would score 30 points if Allen Iverson will average 30 if Allen Iverson was on Golden State. How? What is he talking about? Allen Iverson didn't, at least, all right, Steph Curry didn't pass the ball. And what Iverson and Steph Curry do share is the off-the-ball ability. Because Iverson did do well with that, but with the ball in their hands, Steph Curry's giving that ball a 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4. AI? That might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's dribbling the ball all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like come on now. I love Allen Iverson, but I knew his flaws. And it was tough. He's iconic. You know, I think he's the most iconic player in the last 25 years, even more iconic than Steph Curry. But, you know, especially with the rules favoring Steph Curry, like that's the part where you say, okay, if you put Steph Curry in AI's era, in the 90s era, then yeah. But if he's in the 2000s and 2010s, when they start laxing everything up, and because of Steph Curry, they lax the rules up, it's a lot harder to guard Steph Curry. So to me, it's like AI didn't really, even if he had those rules, he's not shooting the way Steph Curry did. I don't think so. He might score more like he thinks he does because you can't touch him, but the rules were built for a shooter like that to score more points, especially in the regular season. I just don't think, you know, even defensively, AI made an impact too, you know, in the passing lanes. He's not a great one-on-one defender. They all beat him. So defensively, is it up in the air? Who do you think is a better defender?
I mean, with that, that's a toss-up because they both small guards. So I'm not going to act like they was great defenders like Drew Holiday, anything like that. But I just, all players need help. Michael Jordan needed help. So, but some players need a lot of help. Steph Curry needs a lot of help to be successful. Let's just call it what it is.
AI did it?
No, because he got to the finals and won an MVP with those teams. I'm just saying. Look at that roster. And I don't want to advocate for Allen Iverson, but we got to call a spade a spade. The rosters matter. Why Philly never got him the proper help, or that was on purpose, I don't know and I don't care. But he did not have what Steph Curry had. It's the same thing with LeBron and a lot of these. They need too much help to be successful. What Allen Iverson did in the land of giants, Steph Curry's not doing that. Give Steph Curry that same roster in the East, going up against them big bodies, that physicality. They are not getting to the finals. They may not make the playoffs because in a cupcake league today where it's super soft, if he misses Draymond Green, let alone Klay Thompson as well, they're not even making the play-in. And nobody talks about that. Why? Because we all love Steph Curry. And it feels bad when you critique a guy like that because he's such a good guy. But
he's a legend. I mean, they're both legends. When we got to split hairs when it comes to the legends. Come on now.
But it's easy to talk about a guy that, like an AI, that the odds was against him from the gate, and then it's easy to hate on him. A guy like Curry, it's hard to talk about him in a negative manner because of just how much of a model citizen he is. But we got to call it how it is. He needs a lot of help. Without help, he does not get it done. He don't even get it. He don't even get close to getting it done. And to me, that's the difference between him and Allen Iverson. And that's why till this day, Iverson is still the iconic icon, cultural icon that he is today. Think about all the guys that played in that era. None of them is as massive as Allen Iverson till this day. That says something.
Yeah, and I'm also big on, and I'm not conceding whatsoever, but I am also big on the fact that I don't care how skilled you are. How did you dominate the game? And it is just AI did dominate in his own way, but he shot poorly. And I don't think that was bad shot selection. When we talk about low IQ, that's where it comes from. I think, I'm not into AI won something. Nah, Monarch, I'm not into who won anything because, like you said, Iverson didn't have the luxury of having the proper teammates around him. Imagine if you had a Jalen Brunson, kind of squad where you have a bunch of talented guys around you, but they're also going all out. He didn't have that in Philadelphia. It was poorly put together. Steph Curry's obviously was, greatly put together, and they got lucky, like we always refer to. Kevin Love wasn't traded for Klay Thompson. They never had that luck over there in Philadelphia. It was a very weird East, by the way. The East was very weak. For all you guys that don't remember that was the weakest it's ever been, probably. So I don't know. I think, remember, and Steph Curry won in a crazy West, and they were winning and going to the championship before KD got there. So he had his time, he had his run, and they won after KD was there. So not just winning, but they competed at a high level before and after Kevin Durant. And I just think for him to dominate, like they're both of them to be the little guys that we refer to for our guy Jalen Brunson, it's hard to even to come to this conclusion. But Steph to me is just the pure shooting, the skill at shooting. What he did with the game, what he did with his game to that, like that, it was incredible, bro. Like I would rather have that guy there because I can utilize him better. Like the fact that he could go off ball and like the whole team is gonna have to focus on him. AI, he has to go off ball. He has to get the ball at some point. Or else he's not. To me, he wasn't interested in the game like that. It just wasn't. Or how is he really making the people around him better? For me, Steph Curry, his teammates, they got better around him. That was the number one skill for me, for any great player.
Well, for me, let me ask you a question. No accolades, no MVPs. We watched both of them at their peak. You got the #1 pick. Those are the two left on the board. Who are you taking?
Oh, Steph Curry. Steph
Okay.
Curry, that's tough, man. That hurt. That hurt me. How dare you ask me that, all ball?
Yeah, I'm taking AI. I just, this doesn't diminishes or take away from Steph Curry's greatness. But when we talk about every other legend, great player, superstar, all-star, we never mention Steph Curry as far as all the help he needs and needed, and how many breaks he caught throughout his tenure. Whether it was Kyrie and Kevin Love getting hurt, whether it was y'all having to go get KD, which was a cheat code, which shook up the world and had the whole league so upset. So now you play a young boss. So it's not his fault that the GMs and the organization knows how to spend money and get players and build a great team around them. So it's not his fault. But when it comes to who's a better basketball player and who can do more with less, it's not even close. It's Allen Iverson. I've seen Steph Curry without the crew. He's hard to watch. I'm sorry. He's hard to watch. If you give me Golden State Warriors all season without Clay and Draymond Green, and you just got Curry there with Wiggins and whoever else, they are so difficult to watch. It's embarrassing. And that is a fact. We've seen it already. And then let alone don't make the playoffs. Nah, sometimes with a lot of these conversations, we got to leave rings out. We got to just go on purely basketball. And some of these guys like an AI, listen, man, this is why 20 years from now, you're still going to be talking about Allen Iverson. You're still going to be talking about Curry as well, but that's how great Allen Iverson was, to not win nothing. But when you compare him to the greats who had it all and won it all. It just goes to show how great he was.
They're saying it in the chat. They're split, kind of. I mean, they're mostly saying AI actually in the chat. We only got one guy, Monarch. He's holding down Steph Curry. He ain't taking Steph Curry over. I'm not picking nobody over Curry. Only Jordan and Kobe.
See. I mean, once you get because everybody has their fans, and I'm not knocking that. That's like me going, I'm one of the biggest Brunson fans. That's like me going, I ain't taking nobody over Brunson but Jordan. What? Come on, we can't do that. We can't do that. You telling me you're not taking Shaq over, you're not taking Hakeem or Tim Duncan over Steph Curry? You're not taking Magic Johnson and Larry Bird over Steph Curry? Nah, I'm not. Nah. Listen, man, I love Curry. I love what he represents. I love, how he changed the game, generational. But if we want to be for real, Steph Curry is not top 10 greatest basketball players all time. He's just not. Luckily, the rings have him in that conversation. But you got a guy like Hakeem Olajuwon who only has 2 rings, and he's a better basketball player than Steph Curry. Simple and plain.
I don't have neither one in my top 10. And anytime somebody mentioned that, I knew they were just caught up in, what do they call it? The prisoner of the moment. Just for me, there's no way Steph Curry. Again, you know how I feel. If I'm, as Don would say, I'm biased towards the big man, but if you're not a two-way player to start off with, it's very hard to even compete against these other guys. Shaq is like an anomaly because he was barely a two-way player. But even let's say Magic Johnson, for instance, he was so dominant. It was like, bro, I don't care if he doesn't play defense. You can't stop him.
Right.
There's nothing you could do about it. With Steph Curry, because I believe it's more because of the rules that it helped him out, because it didn't matter for Magic Johnson whether it was a first-round championship. I know they had a tragic Johnson moment, but the rules, it didn't matter what game it was or what part of the season it was. He was dominating. So with Steph, we saw, like you said, the defense can be, you can adjust the defense to make it harder for him to the point where he doesn't look like the same Steph Curry in game 42 in the regular season. That's just a fact. And with Iverson, to your point, I don't know if we've ever seen him look differently in the playoffs. He was the same AI from throughout the whole season. He's gonna chuck, and he's gonna be relentless. He was never gonna change his game. But neither one are in my top 10. I don't care. Like, for me, it's not about the rings. I don't need Brunson to win a ring to show me that he's a winner. If you didn't see that after this season, then you're being biased to something that doesn't even matter anymore. I don't even know what you're arguing about.
I just think, before we move on, I just think, when we talk about sports, basketball in particular, we got to be fair. And, we critique everybody. And it seems like when you talk about Steph Curry, it's almost like a sin. And, people tend to forget 73-9 unanimous MVP, up 3-1 in the finals, and you lose. And you lose. Anybody else in that position is winning that series. I'm sorry. And we always gloss over that. I'm going to say it again. The best record in the NBA, 73-9, the best record ever. You're the unanimous MVP. You're up 3-1 in the NBA Finals, a Game 7 at home, and you could not pull it off. That's a problem for me. And for me, that's what keeps him out of my top 10. Simple and plain. Simple and plain.
I'll continue on for another 15 minutes. I know you got to run, and before you do, Steph Curry better than Isaiah Thomas. That's the tough part. That again, Zeke always gets overlooked because he went up against 2 dynasties, and 3 if you count the beginning of the Bulls dynasty, the ending of the Celtics dynasty, and the ending of the Lakers dynasty. I don't think anybody played a tougher competition than Isaiah Thomas. They just didn't. So when you say is Steph Curry a better player, it's like, and Isaiah Thomas was a vocal leader. He wasn't hiding anywhere. He defended Dennis Rodman at a time when it was crazy what Dennis Rodman was doing that's like what's going on with Caitlin Clark right now. And somebody just going out and defending somebody's teammate, if Angel Reese's teammate holds her down. It's the same thing. We can't even paint that picture, but Isaiah Thomas, he doesn't get enough credit. We know that, all ball.
But it goes back to what I said a little while ago, because people don't like him personally. If he was beloved by everybody, it would be a legit conversation. But when you bring up who's better, Zeke or Curry, I guarantee you 95% of people, they don't even think twice. They just going to say Steph Curry. They're not going to even think about back-to-back, went to a third finals, was at an Eastern Conference Finals, and he beat all them guys in their prime, basically. Bird, Magic, Mike. That gets glossed over, finals MVP. But once again, because they don't like him personally for whatever reason, he doesn't get the props he deserves. And that's a great example, because if we want to be for real, who's the better player? Who's the better dog? Who's the better leader? All Curry do is shoot better than him from 3. What else he does better? They both not Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd level type passes. They small guys, so they both not great rebounders. I keep telling people, Curry got a good handle, but it's overrated. It ain't Kyrie. We need to stop acting like that. So for me, Isaiah goes to the basket better. Probably shoot free throws, probably the same. So for me, that you can't go wrong either way. But because people don't like Isaiah personally, and everybody's in love with Curry, Curry's always gonna get that nod, and that's with every player. Look how people disrespect Scottie Pippen because they don't like him personally. But big shout out to the legend Kenny Anderson. When he gave his top 5 all time, you know who he put at the 3 at the small forward? Scottie Pippen. People laugh at and disrespect the guys that are legendary because they don't like them. So yeah, it's listen, man. Curry's gonna get the nod over everybody because he's liked, and that's not his fault. This is no knock on him, but we talking basketball. It's a lot of ballers better than Steph Curry, man. And I believe Allen Iverson is one of them.
Y'all see the poll in the chat. Continue on voting in there. The morning dribble versus wake up and dribble. Which name do you like more for our new morning show? The morning dribble or wake up and dribble? Which one do you like? We'll get to the results in a second. In the meantime, let's talk about the weather. Nobody do it better. 66 degrees here in New York City. 66 degrees. It will go up to 79 degrees today. 66 is the low. You have humidity at 90%. Humidity is at 90%. So all my older people, be careful out there. 66 degrees right now. That's the low for today. We're going nothing but up. 79 degrees. It will be a beautiful day. No rain in sight. It's sunny money out here, baby.
Wow, 94 degrees. Humidity. That's almost time for the metal can with the fire hydrant, baby. It's almost time.
Oh, boy, before you go, We talked about Lauri Markkanen for a second yesterday. What are your thoughts? Have you gone through any deep dives? Have you talked about anything else? Or have you gone through any other how can I say, any other language or and seen any video? Because me, I get obsessed. I'll start watching videos, and before I finish this video, I said, you know what? Let me go watch it with the family real quick. Watch it with them and break it down. What do you think about Lauri Markkanen right now with the New York Knicks?
Last night, my big bro, my OG, man, Charlie Beck, you know him, big shout out to him. He supports the show Wild Love. He actually called me yesterday, and he's last night, about 9-something, he's a diehard Knicks fan like us. And you know what he brought up?
What'd he say?
Lauri Markkanen.
Wow.
And these is facts. At first, he was like the kid from Utah. And he said, yeah. And, you know, he was bringing up Randall and just certain ideas. And I just broke it down like, listen, man, if we can make that move and we don't have to lose much, I think we go for it. I haven't seen anything new, but I definitely been thinking about it all day, even this morning. And, you know, I was just thinking of certain lineups and just like, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? But what I realize in life sometimes, to get further or to know if you can get further, you got to make change. How would you know if you don't make change? Listen, man, Randall's been with us now, what, 4 years? We haven't gotten it done with him. Are we going to go another 4 years and stay right here, or are we going to try to change and go further? If we don't have to lose Randall, then I'm fine with that. But if we got to give up, let's say Randall, maybe, I don't know, Burks, Precious, take how many picks you want, I say let's go for it. So to answer your question, I've been thinking about it. I think we need to make a move, and I like that move more than the Paul Georges, the Donovan Mitchells, all that nonsense, the fake LeBron news. What I like that makes sense for me is going to get Markkanen.
In the meantime, in between time, you know, we respect AllBall's opinion, but I agree with you, LB. I'm not trading Julius Randle for Lauri Markkanen. I know he's leaped up. Just he took a major leap. Even these players like Tyrese Halliburton, they didn't expect him to be this good either.
Lauri Markkanen, I think he's looked awesome, but also like I played against him. I played against him in Chicago, and in Cleveland, and I didn't see this.
Yeah, it's fair. By the way, that's not a knock. Like
it's not at all.
Solid player.
Yeah, solid. Like, but he's looked really good. He looked good in the summer playing in the with Finland, right? Is where he's from, Finland, I think. He was cooking over there, and he's cooking now. And like, did not expect. This is a step up from what I thought he was capable of. So that's my answer.
As always.
So that was Tyrese Halliburton on the JJ Redick show. So he said that last year when Lauri Markkanen was going crazy with Utah. Also, just the injuries. And I know if you have to go all ball, don't worry about it.
No. Hold on. Before I run, let me ask you this. Let me ask everybody in the comments, in the chat. Who's a better basketball player, in your opinion, Randall or Markkanen?
That's tough. That's tough because Markkanen, for me, his inside-outside game to me isn't all that. He doesn't have a handle.
Who has the higher, who has the most promise?
At this point, we got to go with Randall, especially with the Knicks lineup. Like
I don't think Randall can get better unless he's going to turn into an all defender. I don't see Randall's game getting better. My thing is this: we have to be careful as a Knicks organization to be holding up great moves and trades for guys. No disrespect to Julius Randle. He is not Michael Jordan. He is not Kobe Bryant. He's not Shaquille O'Neal. I'm sick of this. I'm not trading this person for this person. Why not? Why would I not trade a better player for a player that's not better? Do I want to trade Julius Randle? No, but if we can upgrade, man. And that's our problem as Knicks fans. We fall in love with guys. When we had Starks, I've heard somebody say, I wouldn't trade Jordan for Starks. That's how much Knicks fans are crazy. And that's our problem.
Yeah, but we can't. If we're gonna say Randall ain't no Michael Jordan or Kobe, neither is Lauri Markkanen. He just hasn't shown me that. Even this leap that he took and everything. What's the upgrade?
But what I'm saying is, I'm not gonna treat Randall like he's Michael Jordan. Us as Knicks fans, we get too invested with our players. Like I said, we love John Starks. We love John Starks so much. If you ask a diehard Knicks fan at that time, would you trade Starks for Jordan? No, because of the culture. Man, get out of here with that. And that's our problem. Okay, Markkanen might not be the guy, but you know what's crazy? We could name a whole bunch of guys, and you know what us diehard Knicks fans gonna say? I'm not trading him for Julius Randle. Would you trade the Joker for Randle? Nah, he won't fit. He won't. We got to get out of that. If we want to win a championship, we got to figure out a way to get better. And we've had 4 years with Julius Randle. When we need him, he can't stay healthy. In the playoffs, he gets injured. My thing is, I said it a while ago, we owe it to him this year to let him come back and get revenge. But after this, if he can't get it done, it's time to go, bro. That'll be 5 years that you didn't get it done.
Well, he's also been pushed to being the 3rd or 4th best player on the team, which is where he's probably at. And Markkanen isn't there yet either. Maybe that's part of Markkanen's problem now, that he's being pushed to the forefront as the best guy on the Utah Jazz, and he shouldn't be. So maybe coming here to the Knicks, he'll be the 3rd or 4th best player as well, and it'll benefit him. But I'm not gonna say that Julius Randle didn't get better.
Hold on. Markkanen at 7 foot. You telling me if he comes to the Knicks right now, he's the 3rd or 4th best player on the team?
Yeah, no way. Healthy, there's no way he's better than OG Anunoby, and no way he's better than Jalen Brunson. It's just not. It's not a fact.
We know Brunson is the guy. You telling me the second option will be OG over Markkanen? I'm not saying who's the. Hold on. Let me finish. Of course, OG better two-way player, but there's no way in the world you're going to OG offensively before you go to Markkanen. I can't agree with that.
No, well, but Mark, first of all, I think that's where a lot of the language gets confusing, because just because you're the 3rd or 4th best player doesn't mean you're the 2nd best player. Doesn't mean you're the 2nd or 1st option. You know, making you being the 1st or 2nd best player, that two-way side of OG Anunoby is the reason why he's the 2nd best player on the team. Sometimes he's the 1st, the most impactful. So Markkanen is not affecting both sides of the floor like OG Anunoby. I don't necessarily think you go to him before OG on an offensive for an offensive scheme, because Markkanen is going to open up the floor even more than OG Anunoby. Don't get me wrong about that, but they both struggle with putting the ball on the floor.
Markkanen comes to the Knicks, he's automatically the 2nd best player on the Knicks, bro. I'm sorry.
He might be the 2nd best option, but the 2nd best player is a totally different story. I don't see how he can take a team to another. He hasn't taken the Utah Jazz to another level.
Bro, it's the Utah Jazz. Let's cut the jokes. Nobody's taking them to another level but Stockton and Malone. Let's be realistic. It's the Utah Jazz, bro.
But I see him being someone who can spread the floor on offense just like OG Anunoby. But on the defensive end, 8 rebounds a game. Come on now, like, we have to talk about that. I don't see this being an automatic thing, and that's part of the problem. I think the way you addressed this, saying Julius Randle, treating him like he's Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, you kind of giving him the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan treatment.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that Markkanen is a good player, and for him to be 23-8, like you said, 90 from the free throw, damn near 40 from 3. For me, I don't understand how we even having a discussion or argument over that. That's a good basketball player. That's why he's a hot commodity right now. And that's why people are going, nah, this kid might be the one. I'm not saying he's going to turn out to be Dirk Nowitzki or Kobe or Mike, but it's no way in the world you have an opportunity to get that, and what holds you up is a Julius Randle. Once again, that's us being Knicks fans and being invested into our players. Because once again, it doesn't make any sense. I told you when we spoke yesterday, we probably talk about this later on Knicks Rehab. We the same people that be like, well, I won't get this player because he doesn't work with Tibbs. Man, listen. You get great players and you figure it out. We had Julius Randle for 4 years. Is Julius Randle getting us to the promised land? No. No. He's not. We have to start understanding that and realizing that. Do I love what he's done for our team? Yes. Do I want him to go? No. But if he has to go for us to get better, that's what business is. And that's why teams and organizations win and some teams don't. Because they're not scared to make the move. So let's re-sign Randall, cool. Now what happens in another 4 years if we keep having these same problems? We got to figure this thing out. But I'm not holding up no trades for no Julius Randle. I'm not. Only person that's not on the block for me is Jalen Brunson. Everybody else can go if it means us getting better and winning the championship. Straight up.
Another reason why we have to think about Lauri Markkanen's situation and like why isn't it such a major upgrade is because now all of a sudden he played 55 games last year. He didn't finish the season, and we can call it the Utah Jazz tanking or whatever, but he's now out for the Olympic Games for the summertime. Finland, Lauri Markkanen ruled out of Olympics for Finland. Finland suffered a massive blow in the hunt for a spot in the 2024 Olympic Games with Lauri Markkanen out of the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in Valencia. After an early conclusion to the 2023-2024 NBA regular season with the Jazz due to an injury to his right shoulder, he will sit out this summer's international schedule. Certainly this is tough, confessed Markkanen. Representing Finland and playing for the national team is an honor for me, along with my teammates. We have been talking all season about how sweet it would be to advance to the Olympic Games. So that was yesterday, and this was a couple hours before that. Technically, if Markkanen were to sign, this is getting into his contract situation with the Jazz. Talking with people in the know regarding Markkanen's deal, the Jazz have several different ways to structure the contract that would allow them to maintain financial flexibility either this season or the next. Though they didn't go into an immense detail on what that would look like. Technically, if Markkanen were to sign a max extension, his deal would be worth 30% of the salary cap with 8% raises every season after that. You know, the thing with the salary cap is always going to be about it has to do with how many years the team has you for. Like right now, we're struggling with the whole thing with Julius Randle. No, I'm sorry, with Isaiah Hartenstein. He's been signed with us for 2 seasons, so it's tough. You can't re-sign him with the early bird rights. We lost that because it's only been 2 seasons that he's with us. If he was under for 3 years, then we can match any deal that anybody has out there for Isaiah Hartenstein, and potentially we can go through that with Lauri Markkanen unless he signs with an extension. Again, this injury thing, it wasn't just a one-time thing. It wasn't just a one-time thing. This is here's an article with Lauri Markkanen when he was with the Chicago Bulls 3 years ago, in which they're talking about Markkanen's injury, a reminder that availability is an underrated skill. Hey, by the way, everyone likes to say availability is the best ability. Fabian PerspecTV says reliability is the God ability. Forget about availability. Are you reliable? Is the garbage man reliable? Is the postman reliable? Huh? Is Markkanen reliable? I don't know. With these injuries, I have no idea. But here's an article from 3 years ago. Sam Smith. This guy's still doing work. Sam Smith. Michael Jordan hates his guts. It was starting to look like the Bulls had a developing star. Lauri Markkanen, the unflappable 7-footer, was first-team all-rookie in an impressive class. Other first-teamers being Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, Kyle Kuzma. The next Dirk Nowitzki. And that's my other problem. It's always the next this, the next that. I didn't even show you this article. I'm sorry. It's always the next this, the next that with this guy. They were calling him Laurie Bird. Laurie Bird is hilarious. And this one, they were calling him the next Dirk Nowitzki. He set an NBA record as a rookie for fastest to reach 100 three-pointers. Okay. Could the Bulls have that rare 5-star tool player, shoot, pass, and dribble? A lot more potential they're talking about. It turns out there's a 6 tool that's becoming as significant not only for the Bulls, but for the NBA. It's availability. Because perhaps never in NBA history have players so regularly missed games, and not just because of the season's absences with the COVID virus. Injuries and rest seem almost every game to eliminate some of the top players. But this was at the time after COVID and everything like that, you know, so that was a major factor into all this. But you still have Lauri Markkanen here just dealing with injuries back then. It's definitely frustrating knowing that's Wendell Carter, the 23-year-old. It's especially disappointing for the Bulls because marketing with a COVID contact tracing absence was playing his best basketball in 2 years. The 23-year-old was averaging career highs 19 points per game, shooting at 51% and 40% from threes. He reached that clip again last season after 2 or 3 seasons of not being able to reach that. And part of it was being with the Cleveland Cavaliers, that clunky 7-footer lineup. You know, it wasn't all his fault. He got to the Jazz, they unlocked a lot of his game. The promise of the rookie seemed finally to be reemerging. Yeah, but he still missed a bunch of these games. And again, it's not like he played too many games. I'm just not big on Lauri Markkanen. Even when we go to his stats, I should show you this while I'm Googling it, right? Even when you go to his stats, you see here 68 games, 68 games, 52 games, 50 games, 51, 61, 66, 55. 55 games last season. What was his excuse? The shoulder injury? Like if he was, you know, a second option like that, you don't play 55 games and they don't miss you. You don't just tank. I mean, a second option at 7 feet like that would be just a different caliber for me. So he's not that much. How far off is he from Cat? You know what I mean? I think he's a little bit better, but he struggles putting the ball on the floor and having to move putting the ball on the floor, right? 23 and 8 is decent numbers, but you're 7 feet. What is he? 7'2"? He is 7 foot. He's 7 feet exactly. He's strong, but half a block a game, almost 1 steal a game was important. 2 assists is kind of crazy, and you know, just studying this guy, I start to lock in and watch videos. Oh man, AllBall TV's morning buckets, new name suggestion. Ooh, Travis Lucas, AllBall family morning buckets is kind of crazy. So you don't like the morning dribble or wake up and dribble, which both sound. I was feeling wake up and dribble. Oh, now it's starting to even up. 56% for the morning dribble to 44% for wake up and dribble. Wow. Wow. Tough. That's tough. Let's finish up the Lauri Markkanen stuff with this video I was watching with him from The Score.
Don't mean as an NBA player in general or even as a good one. The Bulls drafted him 7th overall in 2017. He averaged nearly 19 points per game as a sophomore during the 2018-19 season, and he was a solid starter for a 44-win Cavs team last year. But entering his 6th pro season on his 3rd different team, and after being included in the mammoth package of players and picks Cleveland sent to Utah for Donovan Mitchell, it felt like Markkanen was somewhat of a known commodity. He was a good shooting big man who could give you about 15 points a night, and he was an improving but still flawed defender. On the whole, Markkanen entered this season as a pretty solid starter, but he was a complementary piece in a league that revolves around a constellation of superstars.
They're all just spokes on a wheel.
In other words, he was replaceable. Now he's anything but that for a Jazz team that will revolve around him in the coming years.
And again, this is from a year ago. This is from last season when he was having a big breakout season. So I'm sorry, Travis Lucas, dribble is pause-worthy. But is it catchy? I don't even care if it's pause-worthy anymore. Will the people be able to repeat it? So this video is from last season when Lauri Markkanen was kind of breaking out. Just some interesting talk about him.
Markkanen has earned that trust. Through 3/4 of the season, the 7-foot forward was averaging more than 25 points per game while flirting with a 50-40-90 season, shooting 51% from the field, including nearly 60% from two-point range, 41% from deep, and 88% from the free throw line.
He is on fire.
His playmaking can still use work, as he's once again recording more turnovers than assists, but you'd have to think his vision will improve as he continues to get used to having the ball in his hands this much. Plus, his individual turnover rate is still pretty low for a high-usage player, as the ball's most likely destination when Markkanen has it is the basket.
There's Markkanen.
His 8.5 rebounds per game may not sound like much for a player his size, but you have to remember that Markkanen is a forward, and his rebounding rates actually put him in elite company among the players who play his position. Markkanen
Does it? Like, that's how you know, like, some of these videos, they're so angled at like whatever his goal is, and he just skips over the fact that he's injury prone. 8.5 rebounds is garbage. He's 7 feet tall, bro. The score, whatever your name is. No disrespect, but you just totally overlooked that.
Markkanen's defense has regressed a bit after an improvement on that end of the floor in Cleveland, but at least the effort is there. And in general, it's tough to nitpick the rest of his game when he's become an absolute scoring machine. Among the 40 players averaging 20-plus points this season, only Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry are scoring more per shot attempt than Markkanen. The guy has been
That's pretty interesting.
Unstoppable from every area of the court, even from his worst shooting area, the long mid-range zone. Markkanen is still in the 70th percentile among forwards, according to Cleaning the Glass.
So I think Randall, he can't do this, right? Like, this guy's a spot-up shooter. One of you, who compared him to Keith Van Horn? That was a dope throwback. Drip more. Remember Keith Van Horn? Is that Laurie? Keith Van, I think Laurie's. That's a good comparison, just shooting wise. I think Keith had a little bit more of a crossover. Keith Van Horn would kill this era too. It's a lot of players back in the day that they were forced to kind of be specialists.
Markkanen and Damian Lillard are on track to join Curry, Durant, Jokic, and Charles Barkley as the only qualified scorers and three-point shooters to average 25-plus points on 65% true shooting or better in a single season. Now you understand why Markkanen has earned nicknames like Lowry Bird and the Finisher.
Finish him!
Going back to that last statistical benchmark, consider the Hall of Fame names keeping Markkanen company. Lillard entered this season as a 6-time All-Star and 6-time All-NBA.
This is kind of crazy, though. I don't think we have Randall in this kind of company for any stat that he has, right? At all. Right? That's a fire name, LB Wavy. The morning drill is fire. But Julius Randle is not in any conversation with Lillard, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. You know, we saw Brunson do that in his second playoff appearance with the Knicks. You know, almost another East Conference Finals. You know, for Markkanen to be in this,
with a reputation as one of the greatest scorers of his generation. Jokic achieved the feat in what was his second straight MVP campaign. Curry and Durant already had MVPs to their name when they joined the 25-65 club. Barkley, like Markkanen, was a 25-year-old first-time All-Star when he posted the first such season in 1987-88. But he was also coming off a sophomore campaign that saw him average 20 points on 57% shooting. Barkley was supposed to be a rising superstar. Markkanen, on the other hand, is having an offensive season for the ages after averaging 15 points over his first 5 years in the league.
That's a really great point. Even Steph Curry was the closest one to not be projected to be a superstar, but he was a superstar in college. Markkanen, just 5 years to start off like that and all of a sudden join that kind of company, that is highly impressive. And again, that shows someone they see a challenge and they elevate and they get better. So from him going to Chicago, and you go to Cleveland with a lot of talent over there, and then you finally leave, or you just are allowed to leave, get traded, you come to the Utah Jazz, you go to the Utah Jazz, and you answer the bell. They didn't make the playoffs. He's never been in the playoffs. That's another alarming accolade, even though winning has a lot to do with your team. You should be able to bring your team to the first round, or the play-in at this stage. You not even the play-in, Lauri Markkanen. Big red flag, but the fact that you're able to individually get better, it's tough. That's tough.
This kind of breakup from average starter to bona fide offensive superstar in year 6 just doesn't happen in the NBA.
Right.
Markkanen's stunning rise is the biggest reason why Utah is still playing meaningful basketball in March.
So I think he gets into like Utah's whatever at that point. I don't care, because like you just said, drip more. If Chicago, Cleveland, and Utah give up on this dude, that's suspect, right? Even though a lot of Leon Rose and these guys' ideals, a lot of their philosophy is based on second rounders, late first rounders, and finding these late bloom and finding these diamonds in the rough. You know, they can view Lauri Markkanen like that. It just comes with there's a lot of caution there for me. The injury thing, that's major. The fact that he's not a super duper offensive threat. Like, this is not Dirk. It's not Dirk. So the injuries, as much as they call him the next Dirk Nowitzki, which is crazy, the injuries and not averaging 30 a game on this bum team is very alarming. You ain't average 30 a game. You got the team, you got the ball in your hands the entire time. You're the first option. You can't average 30 in this era, and you 7 feet tall. That's a problem for me, man. And to you guys' point, I totally agree. I've always criticized Julius Randle for everything that he stopped doing this year in January. And this season, he showed a different side of himself. It wasn't just all talk anymore. He actually went out there and was shooting less 3-pointers. And then by the time OG got here, the team was balanced, and OG and Julius Randle was a big part of it. He shouldn't be diving on the floor like that. But hey, again, there is a poll out there for the name of the new morning show. 37 votes. We're about to end it. I'll allow 20 more seconds to get one of you guys to get in there and see if you can make an impact on the question. The name of the morning show, should it be The Morning Dribble or Wake Up and Dribble? Or you guys can put into the chat, like our guy, The Morning Drill. The Morning Drill sounds fire. The Morning Drill sounds fire. Can't front, man. Let me know. Put it in the comments, The Morning Dribble. Let's see who wins the poll though here. We're ending it. Can I see it? There we go. And at 57%, The Morning Dribble wins with a better name. The Morning Dribble wins with the better name, but LB so wavy. The Morning Drill sounds wheezy. The Morning Drill is a ploy on basketball, plus being from New York, and you know how the drill scene is, music. It all makes sense waking up on demon time with basketball talk. Even though I want nothing to do with that drill music. I'm too old for that, LB Wavy. I don't need any more gray hairs. Fabian perspective. All ball in the morning. That morning drill. Yeah, baby. Shout out to All Ball. Shout out to Flea. You know what time it is. Hey, 66 degrees. It will be 79 degrees. 90% humidity. Get ready for that in New York City. Also, let us know in the comments where you guys are from. A lot of us are from New York City. I'll tell you the weather every couple of minutes. And when I'm mentioning the weather, I would like to mention it from the most popular, our popular commenters. That way, we stay in tune, stay in the mix. That way, you ain't gotta go watch them crazy people on TV or tap into your phone. We do it all over here. Randall is a rebound machine and assist, making almost triple doubles every game. That's a lie. Jamaica? You're in Jamaica right now? Or Jamaica, Queens? Fabian Perspective, AllBall TV, Harlem living ATL. Ooh, Atlanta's in the building. Okay. So if you're in Atlanta, we might have to give you the Atlanta weather as well. Richmond, Virginia. Queens native living in Connecticut. Wow. Long Island. We're spread out everywhere, man. We're cooking out here, though, man. AllBall TV family. Hey, by the way, like, share, comment, subscribe. East New York is big time. Tampa, Florida is beautiful, by the way. I've heard about it. Share, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification button, the all notification button, so that we're online. You get to see us anytime we're jumping on with the video and whatnot and whatever else it may be. Also, if you're on a computer, if you're on a PC, if you're on a Mac, I haven't tried the iPad yet, but if you're on a PC, on a computer, on a Mac, you can join the AllBall TV family. We're going to start putting exclusives on there because people start flagging us about stuff. But if you join the AllBall TV family, we can make this thing happen. We can make this thing happen, man. Fabian Perspective, I appreciate all you guys. Keep commenting even after the video is up. Go into the comments, leave where you at. Maybe leave a new possible name for the morning show. Fabian Perspective, baby, we out of here. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.